I was raised here in Charleston, actually on North Adgers Wharf, just 3 blocks from here. Attended Porter-Gaud High School and went to Clemson University. I was a finance major at Clemson. And from there, I went into banking, and I worked for 2 different bank holding companies and was involved in the accounting department, and determined that was not what I really wanted to do. And so then I went to law school. So I've had a multitude of storied careers. And I went to law school thinking it was all about going to the courtroom and arguing in front of the jury. And then after law school, I worked for a local law firm here in Charleston and found out that the practice of law is nothing like what you see on TV. And but I did represent a lot of resort developers and golf course developers here in the Low Country. And from there, I got my first taste of hospitality. And so while I was at the law firm, I ended up actually getting a position as the in-house general counsel for Kiowa Island Golf Resort. And I was hired at Kiowa because they were building the Sanctuary Hotel. And the Sanctuary was having legal issues. And the owner of Kiowa, Bill Goodwin, felt that if I was going to help them get through the legal processes of building the Sanctuary, then I needed to sit in on the design meetings for the Sanctuary so I could understand what we were trying to build. Well, very quickly I got involved in the design and determining where the spa should be and where this should be, and then it started to get into my blood. And in 2006, I decided it was time to go out on my own, and that's where I wanted to try to create my own hospitality company. And I started on Folly Beach, and I started because my wife and I had a house on Folly Beach that we had in a vacation rental program. And I saw the way that it was being run, and I knew there was a better way to do it. There was a better way to treat guests. And coming from Kiowa with 5-star service, you can provide 5-star service in any community. And so we bought a small company that had 89 properties in 2006, and that was the birth of Avocet Properties, which then grows into Avocet Hospitality. That small company, which was Islands West, we converted to Avocet Properties, and today it's 200 properties, where I think we're the largest on the island. That was our platform for then acquiring what was then the Holiday Inn at Folly Beach, which is a 132-room oceanfront hotel. It's the only full-service oceanfront hotel in Charleston, and it was built in 1984. And so you'll continue to hear this theme of repositioning. We knew that it needed to be repositioned. And so we bought it in March of 2008. And we immediately hired architects and interior designers. And he said, what can we do with this that is more in keeping with what Folly Beach is all about? And Folly Beach prides itself on its independence, its bohemian spirit. And so it just didn't make sense that you would have a chain Holiday Inn hotel in such a bohemian environment. So we started in South Beach and scoured every hotel from South Beach all the way up the coast to Charleston, developed our ideas, and then worked with our architects and interior designers to create what is now the Tides. And so we closed the hotel after a 5-month renovation. We repositioned, created the Blue Restaurant, we put carpet on the ceilings in order to make it look like waves rolling in from the ocean. We have driftwood, and it was really trying to create a funky Folly Beach version of a South Beach hotel. And that's why, and I don't know if you've been there, when you walk in, there's 4 massive columns in the middle that glow fluorescent. And that is what Folly Beach is supposed to be about. So it was about repositioning it and about recreating a destination for Folly Beach. Did that in 2008, and then continued to look for opportunities until we got to 2012, when the Vendue Inn in downtown Charleston became available. We were successful in being able to acquire it, which was really special for Lisa and I, being that I grew up just 3 blocks from here. We live 2 miles from here. So this is really an ability to do something in our hometown. And we looked at it again and said, what can we do? Charleston is such a great hospitality community. We have great hotels. We have, as you and I discussed, we have great restaurants, great places to get drinks. And so we knew we wanted to renovate it, but it needed to have its own identity. We're full of great hotels with great lobbies and great guest rooms. And so to just provide great architecture is one thing. And so we sat around and we looked and said, what can we do to make the Vendue different? And we started to look at our environment. And being located in the French Quarter, we're surrounded by 72 art galleries. Charleston is known for Spoleto and all of the arts and everything that happens there. And it came to us actually through a conversation with a gallery owner on Broad Street who was wanting to put a piece of art in the hotel just to promote her gallery. We're like, why don't we take this to another level and actually brand this as Charleston's first art hotel? And so that's what we did. And we went about the process of, we immediately got with our architects and changed the design and installed track lighting. We made sure that the walls were suitable for galleries. We hired gallery consultants. And so everything was designed to provide not only the greatest hotel experience, but the best art gallery or museum, almost like museum experience within a hotel stay. A city like Charleston, that is as cosmopolitan as it is, deserved a hotel completely dedicated to the arts. So we have rotating exhibits 2 to 3 times a year. We bring in artists from around the globe. We have an artist in residence that actually paints in our hotel every day. We have an art docent on staff that is available to tell you anything you want to know about any piece of art. Several of our rooms have original pieces of art. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, we have the largest art collection in Charleston with over 400 pieces between our public spaces, our restaurant, our lobbies, and our corridors. I'm going to give you 2 cliches, and they're cliches for a reason. The first one is, I would tell you, never, specifically in hospitality, never ask any of your employees to do something that you yourself wouldn't do. And we really do follow that here. And so from an advice standpoint, it was like, don't just think you've heard that over and over again, actually execute it. At the Tides, we close the hotel every January because it just, one, needs a rest after the full summer season. We've just gone through a huge New Year's Eve party. And we create an experience where we bring our employees in at a time where they may not get as many hours, and we give them a full 40 hours a week, and we all work together hand in hand in order to clean the hotel, and we even paint parts of the hotel, and we clean guest rooms. And it's 2-part. One, we get the hotel back in shape for the upcoming season, but we use our own people to do that. And in addition, it's a bonding experience for our employees. We match employees from different departments who may not work with each other, and so it creates that true team environment. And from every level of management, from myself down, we are there every day in our jeans, side by side with our employees. And so if we're saying that we need to scrub the grout in the bathrooms, I'm on my knees with them, and I have done that for years. So from an advice standpoint, that I would just say, really follow through with that, because at the end of the day, if you're going to run a hospitality company, your frontline employees are the ones that actually create your reputation in the community. They're the ones that are handling the bags. They're the ones that are handling the complaints. And if they know that both ownership and upper management are really in the trenches with them on a day-to-day basis, they will represent you the best way possible and will give you the best Southern hospitality that you could possibly get. You had asked me earlier if my education played any part in kind of where I am today, and if my education consisted of finance and accounting and the law. And I would tell you, and I've given this advice to numerous high schoolers and college students who have come to me to say, where do I need to do? And I always say I would either start with a business degree and either get a master's degree if the law doesn't interest you. But in any business, I don't care what business you're in. If you're in hospitality or you sell mattresses or you're in the landscaping business, you need to know you need to understand numbers in order to be successful, and you need to understand the law and understand liability. So those 2 pieces, I think, set me up for whatever business I ended up in. And I really didn't know that I would ever end up in hospitality, but it got into my blood. So the cliche is, do something that is important to you and you'll never work another day in your life, because everything is about following passion. And if you're passionate about it, you're generally going to succeed in it. If you're not passionate about what you're doing, it's just a job.